What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. And without further ado, today we're going into a full map tour of Rochester, New York. Let's hop into it right now. In Google Earth, we're going to type in Rochester, New York. Here it is already for me. I must have searched it before. Now, for all intents and purposes, Rochester, we're going to consider, and this is generally speaking, this is how it's done by locals here, is anything that is east of the river is called east side. The Genesee River here is called the east side of the city. Anything west of the river is the west side of the city. So now, you know, in factoring that, we see what's on east side of the river. So we're looking at Irondequoit, we're looking at Webster, we're looking at Brighton and Pittsford and Fairport and East Rochester and Penfield. And then when you look at the west side, you're looking at Chili, you're looking at Gates, Greece, you know, some of these other areas here, maybe West Henrietta, if you will. But you know, when you're looking at this, you see Henrietta here, and Henrietta is kind of a weird, like, it's like a Switzerland. It's like right in the middle. There's some really affluent sides of Henrietta, and then there's some really rural sides of Henrietta as well. So they consider it kind of like Switzerland, just in the middle. So first things first, let's get closer to the city. Let's go east side of the city, and we'll go down into the Highland Park area. In Highland Park, you have Highland Hospital here, and so Highland Hospital is a fantastic hospital. I actually had a major surgery done there, and they were just amazing. But it's right up next to the University of Rochester as well. So there's two major hospitals here, and you know, that is where a majority of your young professionals and your hospital professionals are going to be working. A lot of them live in there too, in this Highland area. A lot of them, they don't want to have to commute from, you know, the suburbs. So especially if they're single and they're young, they're probably going to live closer to these hospitals. And Highland Park is very, very nice as well. So Highland Park here, you know, they do the Lilac Festival. They also do like a festival in the park, and they have music and beer tasting, wine tasting, things like that. So really cool kind of area. Very green. The colors come out, and it's just, you know, a lot of people are exercising there. They're going and doing yoga there. They're just taking walks in the park. They're looking at the flowers, or, you know, whatever. So really cool kind of area. And like I said, if you come right up here, then you have, you know, University of Rochester areas right up here, and, you know, the hospital as well. So there's that. That is, it's definitely the city of Rochester. And when you're in it, you can kind of feel that it's a city besides this big park. Like, imagine Highland Park kind of being like the Central Park of New York City on a much smaller scale. That's kind of what it's like. So if we can zoom in and get like a street view of some of these here, you'll get to see hopefully some of the you know, some of the historic charm in architecture here. Oh, there's a house that was for sale as far as when this Google Earth photo was taken. So, you know, you just got some different architecture types here. Very common for this part of Rochester. And but it is like one thing that a lot of people mention when they come here to Rochester versus other cities that they're coming from is that they say Rochester is very green. You know, Rochester has taken a big part in maintaining the green of the city, you know, planting trees and making sure that there is a bunch of green space. And, you know, I just think it's to maintain, I guess, the aesthetics of the city of Rochester. Now you can see here, over here, you're getting like up on this part of the screen, you're getting the hospitals over here. But, you know, you have a standard colonial here, and then you have a standard ranch. I'm willing to bet that this is probably a 3-bed, 1-bath, or a 3-bed, 2-bath possibly. Cape Cod here. And so you have all sorts of different architecture, I guess, styles of homes that you can get into. There's tons of Cape Cods in this area. And so if we zoom back out here, we go back out of the area and try and reorient ourselves here. We're looking backwards. So University of Rochester, that's kind of where we were right here. Highland Park, University of Rochester. And that's where Strong Memorial Hospital is too. And see, Brighton is right here. So that's why, you know, a lot of people consider this Highland Park and University of Rochester part of Brighton. But Brighton is kind of a big area, but it's very, you know, it's far closer to the city. Obviously, it's literally right here. So let's dive in a little bit into Brighton and see what kind of architecture is in Brighton, because Brighton is a really cool area. You know, taxes are a little bit higher, but I think I've mentioned it on the channel that Brighton schools are the #1 schools in the area, and it's a super diverse area too, which is really great. People love Brighton, but it's super competitive when it comes to the real estate market. So, you know, that being said, as much as I love making these videos for you guys, I'd love even more to help you with those real estate needs. And, you know, especially in areas like this, you need somebody on your side who's going to represent you well. So that name and that email that's popping up on the bottom of your screen, I'm the one that answers those texts and calls and emails. So definitely don't hesitate to reach out. It's never too soon. But, you know, you can see a lot of these are really nice homes. Maybe it's different architecture, a different style than where you're coming from. But it's what's common here. You know, a lot of these are a little bit older. And so, you know, something to get used to maybe. But, you know, all of these houses, like, look, you have, these are some older homes here, old Tudor homes. A lot of people really love this type of architecture. It's just really unique, really historic here. See these two houses right here. They're really cool looking. You know, a lot of people really love them, the history that comes with them. And you get a lot of these fireplaces here with the cobblestone and just really unique properties. And you can see this one over here through the tree. And so a lot of people really like that. They like the old natural charm that these old historic houses have. And, you know, Brighton has plenty of them. And you can kind of see here this patio area. This is very common around the area. This patio where they have kind of like this wall, if you will, like an entry walkway. And it's a nice patio. They set up an umbrella and a picnic table, or, you know, whatever their dining set is that they have outdoors, their outdoor set, I guess. But I mean, this is a very nice house. A lot of the brick architecture as well as the Tudor, kind of like the garage on the side or the back of the house, if you will. Not many people mind that around here. And so obviously down here, we're getting more into a little bit more expensive homes. The brick is very common in this area, kind of like a redstone, if you will. Oh, we just hopped into winter apparently. That's kind of cool. So, you know, so this is Brighton. Brighton is very cool. It's very old charm. But it's a very close suburb of the city of Rochester. And, but a lot of people love Brighton. And, you know, like I had mentioned, it is the #1 school system in the region. So, if you go to Brighton, you definitely can't go wrong. If you have the money to be able to outbid somebody, normally it's going to require a little bit more cash in hand to be able to outbid people here, and in the Brighton area, that is. But it's just because you don't have cash doesn't mean it's impossible. People are doing it every day still, right? But the more cash you have in the Brighton area, the better it's going to be for you. McQuaid is a private school. It's a private, I think it's a Catholic school. I'm not good at that religious kind of thing, but I mean, you know, some of these are private schools, and they're great. I mean, McQuaid is top tier in everything. Like, I know plenty of people who have paid to go to McQuaid. You do have to pay there, and their sports programs are just outstanding. Like, I know there's been some football players come out of McQuaid that have made it to the NFL. There have been some baseball players, some soccer players, literally any sport that you're talking about. But then also actors and you know, all musicians, all sorts of careers in big time people have came out of McQuaid, and just a great area, or a great school rather. So then if we reorient ourselves here, Roberts Wesleyan University over here, kind of a smaller school, but still a great university. Spencerport here, I've mentioned Spencerport before. You know, this is West Side, and there are some affluent areas in Spencerport. There's some very nice neighborhoods here. Spencerport High is a great high school. You have a BOCES there, which is like a vocational kind of school. You learn trades and stuff there. It's very cool, very advantageous for kids to go get involved in BOCES and learn trades and be able to get out of that, getting well-paying jobs here in the area. But as you can see here, Spencerport is very green. So Spencerport is, like I said, it's very rural. It's a suburb of the city, and a lot of green space here in Spencerport. It's a little bit smaller of a town, but it's just great. The schools are great. Athletics are great. Music is great. Your extracurriculars are amazing. So if you have kids and that's something that's important to you, it's phenomenal there. You have great rental choices in Spencerport. It's not going to be extremely expensive for you to live there, as well as housing too. Housing is getting it's raising in price in Spencerport, but it's still very affordable. It's still a little bit less than some of these other areas that I'll show you here in the following video. But Spencerport is phenomenal. I'm personally a big fan of Spencerport, and you know, it's considered west side of the city. And it's really nice because of how green it is and how much space there is around here. Moving up north, northwest of, you know, northeast of Spencerport, but northwest of the city, you're talking North Greece and Greece. Greece is a nice area. They're very big areas. You know, if you get into this part of Greece here, like, you know, just central Greece, I guess, I apologize, I don't know exactly what to call this, but it's much more urban. It's much more city feel when you get down into here. It basically runs directly into the city, so you're gonna notice, actually, so this is the Greece Ridge Mall. This is a very nice area over here, but you know, this runs directly into the city, and so the closer you get to the city, obviously the more urban feeling you're gonna have. So big shopping plazas here. Let's see, but what's nice about Greece is access to the major expressways. So 390 is right here, and then you can take 390 really to anywhere that you want to go. 531 or 490 here, you know, or continue on 390 all the way down. So really wherever you want to go, you can get there from Greece. Greece is very, I guess, central to a lot of things. You get into North Greece here, you're talking a little bit more suburban, more rural type feeling. You know, you're going to be closer to the lake. You're probably going to get a little bit more breeze, more wind up there, but you're going to get into some nicer homes. You're going to get into some more affluent areas, as well as Hilton here. So Hilton and North Greece, both very great areas, very nice homes, a lot of green space, and you know, obviously they border Ontario, Lake Ontario. So you have the Ontario Beach Park here, this wildlife management area. You have these ponds here, so Long Pond, you have Buck Pond and Cranberry Pond, but a bunch of parks and a bunch of like beach areas that you can go and just hang out on the beach and you know, have a good time with the family. Hamlin State Park is a great camp resort, and just state park, you can go swim on the beach or hang out on the beach rather. They also have basketball courts and tennis courts, and you know, literally everything that you could ever need if you want to go spend a beach day or a camping trip for you and your family. Brockport here, just south of Hamlin, is so you have the university, or you have SUNY Brockport here, so State University of New York, Brockport, and it's a very small town. Brockport is very small. It's mainly a college town, and if you go there, you're going to notice that it's a lot of college kids. So that's really all I have to say about that, is just, you know, it's college kid central there. So if you want a nice quiet area, probably don't go to Brockport, because it's probably not going to be quiet. So now getting over, you know, I'll touch on Chili real quick. So Chili is a little bit more green. You have some really nice up and coming neighborhoods here. So if you look at something like this, we'll go in here real quickly into like these neighborhoods. You know, these are a little bit more cookie cutter. You're going to have your subdivisions like this, where it's going to be more cookie cutter. It's going to be a little bit more nicer, a little bit more nice rather. All the mailboxes are the same. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if this one actually has an HOA. I'm not entirely sure here, but it looks like maybe it could. So normally when you see everything is basically the exact same. And then they also have the ponds here. So if we zoom in, that's probably a gazebo here. So somebody has to maintain this area, the pond area and the walkways. So I'd imagine they have a HOA here, and that's probably what this building is, probably a community center. So I wouldn't be surprised. I guess it's not coming up on the map. I don't know which development this is exactly, but it looks like it's probably got a HOA. But it looks like a very nice neighborhood. So in Chili, you're getting a lot of these, a lot of nicer neighborhoods, a lot of up and coming neighborhoods. A lot more people are kind of gravitating out to that area. I'm hearing it more and more from buyers coming this way, is that they want to get out into these areas. It's still very close proximity to the city, but it's not so close where you're getting the hustle and bustle of it. You still have green space, and you still, you know, it's still a safe place for you and your family to go. And Churchville-Chili has great schools, and it's still fairly diverse as well. So it has a lot of things going for it, and that's why it's kind of an up and coming area. Now getting over into the east side, I touched on Brighton. I recently did a video on Penfield. Penfield is very nice. Your more affluent areas are going to be Webster, it's going to be Penfield, it's going to be Fairport, and it's going to be Pittsford. And then, you know, when you get a little bit more south of the city, you're going to go Mendon, Fishers. Those are, you know, two very affluent areas as well. Victor is fairly affluent. And so when you get this far down into Victor, and there's just some things that I'd like to show, and I have some B-roll footage of it as well. There's some very, very nice developments here in Victor. You know, we're talking every single home is $1 million plus, probably up to about $3 or $4 million. And you know, they're just very nice homes. So let's see if I can just find it here quick. So zooming into this area a little bit, this is Cobble Creek here. Obviously a really nice golf course here. You can see the fairways and the greens and stuff, and these are just amazing homes. And you know, this is anywhere from $1 million to probably 3 or 4. You can see these homes here. Very well manicured neighborhood, very well maintained homes. And so, you know, this area here is super affluent in Victor. Let's go see this house down here quick. There's been a few of these for sale, and you know, when they go up for sale, they go quickly because people love this type of house here. The cobblestone, the colors, you know, kind of has like a historic charm to it. But then everybody's backyard is the golf course basically, so they just love it. Most of them, I'm willing to bet, are probably gonna golf, and you know, it's just a great area. So that's Victor. That's, you know, obviously a little bit more south of the city, but going back up north a little bit, you have Fishers, you have Mendon. Fishers is basically like your intermediate between Mendon and Victor, and then like Pittsford and Victor. So it's kind of a weird area where parts of Fishers is like Victor, and then parts of Fishers is like Pittsford or Mendon possibly. So kind of a weird area. Not many people say I live in Fishers. Most people will say I live in Pittsford or I live in Victor. Or Mendon possibly. So you know, that's not like a huge area, so just kind of like scratch that out of your mind. But here you have Powder Mills Park, you have Thornell Farm Park, you have all sorts of parks here, all sorts of golf courses here, a bunch of green space. These areas here, like I had mentioned, are going to be more of your affluent areas. You're gonna have your you know, probably about your average price point is gonna be about 400 and up, 400,000 and up. It's not gonna be hard to find $1 million house here. Now that being said, in our area we don't really have, you know, upwards of 5 million. It's, I think, one in the city of Rochester sold because it was like a compound with multiple houses on it, and it was, you know, just very immaculate. But you know, you're not going to find that above 4 million mark. Very rarely are you going to find that here. But you know, you have all these golf courses here in this area, and Oak Hill, the PGA tour was just here at Oak Hill Golf Club, and I hope I'm circling the right one. I think it's here. But either way, very nice golf course, very nice areas. You have St. John Fisher here. This is like just outside. This is kind of like East Rochester, but it's also like Pittsford. You have Nazareth University. And so this YMCA here was just built recently, and it's amazing. However, when it first opened, we started going there, and it was just a mob scene. You know, the thing around here is if a new YMCA opens up, the way that they're building them now, it's just, they're incredible what they're building. But everybody and their moms and their dads and their cousins and everybody are going to be going there for minimum the first like 2 years, and so it's going to be a madhouse when you go there. Even at weird hours of the day, even when everyone should be working, it's still going to be crazy busy, crazy congested. So just keep that in mind in areas like that, because you look at where this is located, you know, right here, the Shotland Family YMCA, you got Pittsford here, you have East Rochester here. So you have these two universities, and then you have MCC, Monroe Community College here. You have Henrietta. So it's like right in between these huge areas. And obviously there's a lot of people. There's a huge population that lives in that area. So that being said, it's going to be more congested. People who are willing to pay for the YMCA versus a private gym or something like that, then, you know, it's just going to be crazy. And like I said, most of this area here is a bit more affluent, so they're willing to pay for a YMCA membership. So just something to note. If you don't have kids that you want in swim classes or maybe in a daycare or, you know, something like that, then the YMCA may not be for you. You might want to go to some of these other gyms. They have, you know, the LA Fit, or they have one called Strata, I think it's called. But there's a Gold's Gym. There's a bunch of other smaller gyms that aren't as big as this YMCA that you could probably get a lot more space to do your own workouts and your own exercise in, and you know, kind of be more peaceful, if you will. So, but we did a video on Fairport, and we kind of mentioned Fairport and Parenton. So Parenton is like the bigger picture part of Fairport here. Fairport is the city of Parenton, if you will. So it's the little village here. And it's very nice. We'll take you down into a street view of Fairport. It's a very nice area here. We'll go right down to the canal. So you can see here, this is the little village. Very charming. Fairport is honestly one of my favorite places in the area. You have this bridge with the canal here. A lot of history in Fairport as well, and there's a lot to do. And then proximity to things, I mean, it's right here, so it looks maybe like it's a little bit out of the way, but it's really not. It's very close. Now what I will say is Fairport's a little bit longer of a drive to the expressway. to get onto the city, but that doesn't mean it's a long drive. It's, you know, probably to the city, it's about 15 minutes or so. Now, if you're way over here toward like Macedon or Walworth, it might take a little bit longer, but, you know, it's still not bad at all. So, and then Webster, same thing. Webster is a little bit more out there across 104. You have to go over the Irondequoit Bay and go out to Webster, but a lot of Webster is a little bit more affluent as well. Very nice homes, especially when you get up here into onto the lakeside. Very nice. Now, I'll be showing you some clips here of this area here. I was up there the other day, Seabreeze Amusement Park. Really cool area. We used to love going there as a kid. A lot of roller coasters, water parks. But then they have the beach here, and so a lot of people will go and hang out on the beach. And there's also little cottages here too. Some people will Airbnb those cottages, or they'll live in them seasonally or whatever. But really nice area. You can dock your boats here at the harbor. And this bridge, honestly, this is probably one of my favorite drives ever, across the 104 bridge going into the Irondequoit Bay area, because you have really nice houses along this ridge, and same here too. And you can look out this way at the lake, which, in case you didn't know, Lake Ontario is a great lake and it looks like an ocean. You can't see the other side from Rochester. So the other side is literally Canada. So, I mean, you can't see it. It's very far out there. But the bay is just beautiful. A lot of really nice houses, a lot of really nice boat docks, a lot of nice boats. And so it's just a beautiful, you know, and it's green too. There's a lot of greenery here. And so, you know, you really can't go wrong with Irondequoit or Webster. Irondequoit's just going to be a bit more jam-packed with people, if you will, especially you get closer to the city here. But, you know, if you're up in this area by the lake, it's not going to be as packed, but it is still pretty, you know, pretty populated up here. But there's parts of Irondequoit, you know, we get asked a lot by people talking about, hey, I'm bringing a family here. I want to be in a safe area. I want to be, you know, protected from a lot of the violence that you hear about on the news in the city, which it happens in every city. Rochester is by far the best city when it comes to crime, right? It's not at all. In fact, it's on the opposite spectrum. But that being said, there are plenty of places you can go and live and be outside of the crime area, but still very close to the city, still very close proximity to all the things that you would need that might be in the city, right? So maybe you work in the city or something like that. There's plenty of places, and you can see here in Irondequoit, there's plenty of places that you can go and be close to the city. Literally, it's right here, right? And this is a matter of 10 minutes, right? But you're still in very nice neighborhoods. You're in good schools. You're in a safe area, you know, but you're so close still. So there's plenty of places like that. And in fact, a majority of this surrounding area is like that. I mean, you get down into Rush or Honeoye Falls or Mendon or, I mean, even Pittsford, for how close Pittsford is, and Brighton as well. You're very secluded from a lot of that crime and the things that generally happen in major cities, right? You can look up the statistics and the data yourself, and the crime mappings and whatnot. But, you know, there's areas that if you're bringing a family, maybe you don't want to go there. And again, you can do that research, but there's other areas that are very safe. They're, you know, very far secluded from the city and what the city, I guess, what comes with the city. But, you know, it is what it is. It's, that's just kind of what comes with it. And, but I mean, that being said, again, you know, going back to what I had said in the beginning of the video, the city is kind of broken down east and west of the river. So if you're west of the river here, or you're east of the river rather, you're called a 315er, and there's really no reason to it. It's literally not like it's like a gang thing or anything like that. It's just a joke that the locals kind of talk about. It's, if you're east side, you're 315er. If you're west side, I don't know what you call west siders, but what people say, if they're on the west side, they say west side is the best side. I don't know what they say about the east side, but the east side is the more affluent area. It's going to be your more upscale suburban neighborhoods, things like that. West side is going to be more green space. It's going to be definitely a lot more space. You're going to have more land, probably cheaper home values, you know, and it's going to be a lot less populated as well. This area is going to be a lot more populated. This area is less. Then you get down south a little bit, that's going to be a lot less. So I mean, just keep that in mind. But you know, a lot of the questions that people are asking when they move here is, hey, how do I get an orientation of the Rochester area? And you know, is all of it Rochester, or are there towns outside of Rochester? Like, what's that look like? And so hopefully this map tour kind of breaks that down. I know it's not necessarily the most organized. There's really not a way to organize it, I guess, the best. But, you know, it is what it is. Brighton is great. Rochester, or the Gates area is great. Those are just going to be more city. So, you know, take this with a grain of salt, but also do your own research as far as school districts go, and crime in the areas too. If you want to get into the outskirts, like you're going to want to start looking in maybe North Greece or Hilton or Spencerport, Chili, Churchville area. Maybe Caledonia, it's very small town. Mumford is small town. It sounds like small town, right? Avon, Rush, Honeyway Falls, Mendon, Victor. You want to get down into these areas here. Macedon, Walworth, Ontario, Bloomfield, Bristol, Canandaigua. These areas are very, very suburban, very rural, and you're protected from a lot of the craziness of what a city brings. But if you're a little bit more into these areas, still very nice, still very secluded, but you're a little bit more susceptible to what the city is going to bring to you in all facets, right? And so I hope you got something from this. Hope it kind of put things into perspective for you, and helps you kind of learn a little bit more about the area, and maybe where you want to start targeting your next home purchase. If you're new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. As much as I love making these videos for you on all things Rochester and Finger Lakes living, I'd love even more to help you with those real estate needs. So that number and that email, it's popping up on the bottom of your screen. I am the one that answers those texts, emails, and phone calls. Definitely don't hesitate to reach out. And until the next video, guys, we'll see you. Bye.